Hey Transformers fans, welcome to another Transformers Tuesday. This one, very exciting, clearly doing HasLabs, joined by our good friend Unicron. We got Victory Saber and our good friend the Space Chicken Deathsaurus back here. Hopefully all of you have your Deathsauruses in hand. I've been seeing a lot of great posts about that.
Yeah, people seem pretty happy with him. I'm happy that he's finally reaching everywhere now.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's been great.
It's great.
All right, so we've teased a lot of stuff. I've said Omega level HasLab for a few months now, dating back to PulseCon, a couple interviews that happened throughout the time since then.
Yep.
So I don't think we should just show the fans finally what this is.
Okay, yeah, we're just going to cut right to it. Here we go.
All right, let's roll our video. So there you have it, HasLab Omega Prime from Robots in Disguise. There was clearly people that were on this. Clearly, a lot of options, right?
Yeah.
So Legacy United, we're celebrating all 40 years of Transformers history, bringing in people from every bit of entertainment. So when we started talking about what should we be doing for our 40th anniversary HasLab, we kind of honed in on the middle of Transformers history, and our most iconic character being Optimus Prime. And this is kind of where things settled on. So let's talk about him and his gray model quick here a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. So first off, obviously, we're working with Yuki-san over at Takara Tomy on this, who happened to design the original figure 20 years ago. So we're happy to be bringing this back. I know I have notoriously said Optimus Prime will never be a HasLab, and I was so very wrong. But I've never been more happy to be wrong, because this figure is absolutely amazing.
All right, let's take a look at that render image that was in the video of him. We can check him out here in his glorious red deco. We will have a painted model soon, but you can see he's going to look very screen accurate. So, but yeah, let's talk back more about this model now that we showed that. Yeah,
I mean, we got a lot to talk about. Obviously, red fire truck Optimus Prime.
I hear you like your Optimus Primes as fire trucks.
I do. A normal flat nose truck, that's great, but when you're a fire truck, you can also his alt mode serves a purpose of helping people.
That's true.
And that just makes more sense for his character, so I've always really enjoyed that. And everybody has a real soft spot for this series, which when we were talking to people about why we were possibly thinking about doing this, a common thread that kept coming up was, what was everybody's dream toy that they could never get? And Optimus Prime, Ultra Magnus from Car Robots, Robots in Disguise, came up quite often.
And with wheels that will no longer disintegrate.
Yes. So we're going to start right there. There is no rubber, no PVC tires in this. They will be ABS, so they will last forever. But yes, so this guy also has no electronics. We're going to just make sure that everybody knows that as well. So we're actually able to use his backpack to serve a bunch of other functions to improve upon the figure, which is essentially what this does. It takes everything that was great about the original and we've upped its game to the next level. He's got ankle tilts. One of the simple things that I think people will enjoy is on the original figure, his hands were still encased in like his armor.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
I remember this being a big back and forth while we were working on it.
it wasn't that big. It
Not
was
like big, but like something we were like, we need to update it.
Yep, exactly. And that became a very like, oh yeah, just like the anime then. So that was great. Obviously, he's got some thick thighs.
Thick thighs?
Thick thighs. Thick bots do squats, as we
true.
always say. And a lot of what we did here is that we were focusing on how to make this Optimus Prime support his combined modes more and stronger to make sure that it can be the best toy it can be.
Yeah.
Which is what I'm really happy to show off with this guy.
All right, so for our next image, let's take a look at the fire truck base mode. We have this render of all the way that's going to look, and then we can transition here to the gray model for that as well after we take a look at this image. So let's take a look at the base mode there. As you can see, it's really big. That's great. So, but yeah, when you come back out, like, doesn't even fit in the frame when we come back from the image transition. It's perfect. So,
and I feel like real quick, I should probably show just so people get a sense of the size.
We need our size.
Yep. Here we go. Here's Deluxe Class Siege Hound, just so everybody can. This guy is practically a 1-for-1 size-wise of the original toy, which those original toys were very big.
Yeah.
So it makes this guy very impressive. Okay.
There's our buddy. So yeah, so you can see the base mode. There's a lot going on here. Have the ladder, have the fire hose gun, water hose at the top there, right?
Yep. A couple of things to talk about on this one. So the original like chair seat for the ladder, it was originally used for like Diaclone figures.
Okay.
You could stick them in there. So what we've done is we've actually increased the size here so that Titan Master figures can now sit in there.
Perfect.
And not only that, they can also sit up in the bucket for the hose head.
Okay.
So just if you have a couple Titan Master figures at home, you can have them play with the base and interact with it a little bit more. But yeah, obviously the ladder raises, it's going to be on a ratchet joint. It still has the missile functions, but it is not a spring-loaded gimmick anymore. We have taken those kind of things out just so that we can put as much more of the effort and tooling just to make the figure better and sturdier. But, I mean, the base is great, but I guess we should just go to a super mode, right? Because that's everybody's favorite.
The next image here, you'll see that you can pull part of the fire truck apart to do those shoulder cannons
Yes, of course.
that Optimus gets and uses in the show. So let's take a look at that render image. You can see, so kind of the feet that become part of his super mode also go on his shoulders. You can see the pegs there on the gray model as we've been going through it.
Which we've improved a lot of the connections so they're a little bit more generic in this. So maybe they'll work with some other figures that you have, just because now we're really heavily into our 5mm port system.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Part of a staple of Generations at this point, like something established War for Cybertron forward. So, so we have that image there, and then we'll take a look at the super mode image here. You can see him all armored up with all of the pieces, and this is what he's going to look like when he gets to be a big boy, about 11.5 inches, I think, once you put all the stuff on him. So
I think so. I don't remember the measurements off the top of my head.
yeah, so there you see him in his super mode. We're starting to get him going.
We're starting, and there's something that I wanted to talk about. So, essentially, when Optimus Prime, the original toy, would transform, his waist was very flimsy, just because he was supporting a lot of weight right there. So, because we removed the electronics, his backpack now can act as extra support.
Ooh.
Yeah, so that can come down, and I don't want to say it acts like a girdle, but it gives him more ab crunch support, so he'll definitely be able to support more of the armor weight and not flop around. So it's a wonderful little addition that we've added in to make sure that he's sturdier and can be the best toy that he can be.
Perfect. All right, so let's take another look at that render image so you can see exactly this super mode Optimus you're going to get. Very clearly going to have a lot of bright red color since he's a fire truck. But let's transition back to the gray model here. Evan just got done converting him into super mode.
Optimus Prime, super mode.
There's a lot going on here.
Yes. So this series kind of canonized like Optimus Prime merging with the rest of his trailer,
Yeah.
which is always such a fun little gimmick because now that is always a given. But I love this design so much, mostly because of just how different it is compared to everything else.
I really
Optimus
like
Prime.
the bandolier chest.
Yeah, isn't that cool? Like,
just like
the asymmetry
Yeah.
of it. Ah, yeah, I love it too. Actually, speaking of that bandolier, here, just for comparison, let's bring out the original toy as well,
There you go.
just so everybody can see. I brought this from home,
I'm jealous.
which is why it's covered in dust, by the way. So he will have like all the same features that the original toy had, obviously, but you can very much see how the proportions have been vastly improved. Which, again, is because we thickened up those thighs and we thickened up some of the limbs.
He's been doing his squats. It took him 23 years,
has.
but he's here.
But one of the interesting things is he's now tall enough that the ladder no longer needs to fold in order for him to stand up straight. It's just a nice little thing. So he will, of course, have access to the Matrix. In English, this was the Matrix of Leadership, but in Japanese, it was the Energon Matrix.
Okay.
So in our version, in this new HasLab version, the Energon Matrix is actually going to be a separate part that you can take out. It was just a decoed piece in the original. We are also going to have vac metal and the hot foil stamping that this one had.
Ooh.
So the antenna and the eyes will be vac metal, and then we are going to hot foil stamp like the Autobot logo on his bandolier.
Nice. That'll be good.
Yeah, it's just like he's got ankle tilts now, so he can pose out. It's so much fun. Yeah.
There's a lot going on here.
Yeah,
So-
which granted, this is a rapid prototype model, so while I am transforming it and showing it off, I can't show you everything because I'm so afraid I'm going to break it. But do know, like, yes, this is going to be a fantastic figure.
All right. So that does it for Optimus. Clearly, there's more to this, right? Can't do Omega Prime without
No.
his brother, as he's known in this series. So let's take a look at Ultra Magnus here in his bot mode in the render. You can see the colors. There's a lot of blues in this. So there's this nice bright blue, light blue, a royal blue, a lot of stark whiteness that's going on there that Ultra Magnus is very much known for, but also huge, right? Like this guy comes out, he's commander size from the get-go. So let's
Yeah.
take a look at his gray model.
Yeah, I mean, this guy is a car-carrying truck.
Yeah.
Like, he's ginormous, as he's meant to be. Which actually, I guess, let's show size comparison real quick, just so that they can see them next to each other.
So yeah, you can clearly see that Ultra Magnus comes out of the box in his commander height and doesn't need to be super moded up to be that big.
No, he's just that big.
And Hound
scale.
for comparison. 'Cause
Yeah,
we have to.
Yeah, he's my special scale little boy. So.
All right, let's talk about Ultra Magnus here. There's a lot going on. He's got
There is.
some wide feet to hold himself up because he's a carrier.
Ultra Magnus, he joins the 70% leg club that is exclusively him and Beast Machine's Cheetor, I think. But it's such an iconic design that I love it to death. Yeah, again, he will have all the same features that the original toy had, but we've added ankle tilts. We've made sure to give him more like strength areas so that he can pose out a lot better. Another fun thing, and this is kind of a reference to the Japanese continuity of this, he actually will have a spot for the Energon Matrix in his chest.
Ooh.
And he will come with an Energon Matrix, we just didn't have two printed with this prototype.
Fair.
But yeah, he will finally get his own Matrix.
It only took him 23 years.
Only.
Finally got him.
Only.
All right, so let's take a look at the render of the vehicle mode for him. So
Yes.
you can clearly see big truck, car carrying, will fit deluxes. That's
Yes,
cool.
up to 3 deluxe car bots.
Oh.
We've kind of designed it to fit.
Perfect. And then you can kind of see on the top of the image here, there's something else going on.
Oh.
Ultra Magnus was, known for that cannon weapon that he had in the show.
Mm-hmm.
But Yuki and you kind of took it a lot further this time than last time.
It was all Yuki, and I'm going to start by showing the original. So this is Ultra Magnus's blaster pack, I guess is what I'm going to call it. This was blue bolts. On the first day when we kicked this off and we were talking to Yuki, he had a napkin sketch that was just like, I want to turn blue bolts into a weaponizer. And he showed it, and I was like, oh, that's my favorite thing ever. So yeah, here we go. Here is our updated Blue Bolts weapon pack, and if you'll give me a moment, I'm going to transform
So while you transform it, we'll show the render on screen. You can see Blue Bolt's here officially, deluxe size weaponizer comes apart, but it also is, Ultra Magnus's weapon from the show.
Yep.
Clearly blue, very much like this original piece that we had from the original toy, but he's a big boy for an armorizer.
I mean, he's deluxe, so he's like our standard armorizer size. His stylization and his design is so iconic, and it feels like it fits in so well that it feels like it's something that should have always been.
I also can't wait to see what the community does with this armorizer for all of the other crazy builds they've been doing. So this is going to be fun because now you guys need extras. And yes.
Another fun feature that he has is that when he does break apart into his components, he will fill out some of those kind of gappy areas that are in Ultra Magnus that he has just for the pentultimal scene that we're going to get to here in this HasLab. But yeah, here we go. In his robot mode. Deluxe class.
And Hound for comparison.
Hound for comparison, just so everybody can see. And I love him. The stylization about him, it's so good. I love it to death.
All right, let's put Optimus back up here in super mode. We'll take Hound away, and we'll show it. But while Evan's getting that, let's show the render image. You can see all three pieces here in the offering in this render. Shows their heights, shows exactly what's going on, shows you your colors. You know, deco subject to change, although we're pretty locked in. So these should be very close, but we still got to get to production, so anything's possible. But here you can see your three pieces that will be coming in this HasLab base offering. Only 10,000 backers needed to get this display on the table right now.
Yeah, if we're showing this, should we, let's, here, just so everybody, I'm going to
compare.
Yeah, just so everybody can see what's going on. Ultra Magnus, I'm sorry, can you just, there we go. Here we go. So I'm going to show some comparison with Star Saber, obviously. So you can kind of see what all you're getting in this package, and then this was everything that you got previously. And then, oh, Desaurus, you're so wide. Oh, okay, well, we'll see if I can get him on there. Here, I'm sorry, Star Saber. You're not in bot mode. Oh, whatever. People will get it. There we go.
So yeah, clearly a lot in this offering.
Yep, well, we tried.
Yeah.
We're trying to get everything in there that we can to make this as, I don't know, pleasing of an offering as possible.
So the next image we're going to show, clearly this all went down in the show of making Omega Prime when Ultra Magnus tried to steal the power of the Matrix from Optimus by shaking his hand. So a big feature of this toy is the fact that these two can shake hands. So let's take a look at the render here of how that goes together, and then we're going to put this guy into Omega Prime mode.
Yeah, here we go.
All right, so you can see here on the screen the infamous handshake where Ultra Magnus tries to steal the Matrix from Optimus, which kickstarts us into the official creation of Omega Prime. So now let's look at him in all of his gray glory here in front of us.
Yeah. Oh, such a beautiful design. And you can really see, I think, on this model. Okay, yeah, let's show this off first before I bring out the original. Just because look at how well the proportions are in this. Like he carries all this armor so well. He looks so good. And the posability is all there. Sorry, Blue Bolts, let me summon you on top as well to kind of complete this.
Again, prototype model. It'll work.
Yep, so obviously there he is armed out with Blue Bolts. So Ultra Magnus's chest piece will be vac metalized as well, just like the original toy, to make sure that we get those shiny silvers and blues in there to make this pop and look as good as possible. A really fun point, I don't know if anybody had the original toy, but the bicep parts of Ultra Magnus, after you put them into Omega Prime mode, I almost said the Japanese name, they just kind of like dangled and there wasn't anywhere to put them. So we made sure, Yuki made sure, let's say, that he actually has very decent and good storage back here now. So it looks very clean and complete. It's really nice. It's a beautiful sculpt. It's a beautiful toy. And the original is also a beautiful toy.
Geez, you just have two of these things?
So, funny story about that. Later in life, I did acquire these just because, like many others, I could not find them when the show originally happened. And you can only display them like this, right? And then you have a lot of the leftover armor bits from Optimus Prime. I was at a flea market somewhere, and someone was selling just the base body of Optimus Prime, not in the best quality, but it was super cheap. It was like $5. And it's like, I just need that to store the armor. And so that's what that was.
Perfect.
But yeah. Another nice thing, Ultra Magnus's head is completely hidden in our new one. You can kind of see it pop out over here just because there's not really any storage for it.
So much going on here.
It does have a lot going on.
Gosh, we're still on the base offering too. We haven't even talked about tiers yet, have we?
We haven't even talked about price yet.
No, we haven't done that either. All right.
So
let's take a look. So you can clearly see on the original toy all the colors. Let's take a look at that render of him kind of heroically posed out, all the color going on there. And that is your Omega Prime offering in color. That's the base offering. Again, 10,000 backers needed. Again, or I guess the first time, not again, but $249.99 for this. But clearly, we have more. There's more. It was in that launch video. So let's talk about Tier 1. We're going to leave him in Omega Prime mode. So Tier 1 is your Matrix Blade. This comes in the final episode of the show. Essentially, the Matrix turns into a giant weapon, right? And like everybody gives their energy.
They supercharge the energy of the Matrix.
That's what it was.
Yeah, it creates this Matrix Blade.
It's only kind of big, just a little.
Just a little bit. It's meant to be wielded by Fortress Maximus as well. So
perfect.
Yeah.
All right.
So this will be Tier 1. Obviously.
This is your Tier 1. Again, the jump here will be 3,000 backers, so at 13,000 backers, you're all getting your Matrix Blade to complete your Omega Prime. Let's take a look at this image here where it shows the height comparison, so you can see the full height of Omega Prime in his color. You can see the height comparison of the Matrix Blade next to him. So there's a lot going on. Do you need me to hold this sword?
Yeah, could you hold the sword just for a second?
So that's Tier 1, and then Tier 2, we haven't done a HasLab without a display base yet, so we're going to keep going with that because this is very clearly part of Transformers DNA.
It is.
But there was a great concept of how we do the display bases here.
This one's a little bit interesting. Before, we've only ever offered you one base, but we'll actually be offering you two in this one because obviously this is coming with two humongous characters. And they are all a piece of the road that is based off of the global
Space bridge?
Yeah, the global space bridge, or the Cybertronian net in Japanese, I think is what it was. So one of the fun things is obviously you can display both of them in robot mode on these, but you can take these arms off and they actually interlock to form a piece of the road.
So now you can display it in truck mode. If you want, for either vehicle on your desk. So
it's just a nice little fun little thing.
Perfect. And we should mention that you can use either arm and one display base to also display your Omega Prime in his combined mode. So there's a lot of displayability here. Again, another increase of 3,000 backers. So we get to 16,000 backers, you'll get your two display stands as well as your Matrix Blade because this thing's awesome.
It's got it.
And your base offering of 3 characters, which become one giant character. So it's like Commander Plus scale-ish, right? Like it's bigger than Victory Saber. So.
It definitely is. There he is.
So good.
Just for comparison. And then obviously we have all the leftover armor bits from the super mode for Optimus Prime.
So there is a lot going on here. So
there is a lot going on.
I mean, that's all the things. Campaign, it's live now. I'm sure a bunch of you have already backed. It's there's just a lot of fun, interesting things going on. I think we're shocking fans quite a bit. I think it's been fun to watch people argue back and forth about we're never doing a Prime as a HasLab.
Well, that's because I said that. That was me being dumb.
But yeah, so when you get a chance, go watch that launch video again. We'll get that up there. This will be on, rebroadcast on YouTube. You guys can keep watching this video, get to know about it. Head to the Hasbro Pulse site, back this HasLab. The campaign is active live now through March 14th at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So you have 44-ish days, I think is how the math worked out on this. We're ending on Transformers Thursday. We're going to be doing some stuff in March to celebrate the 40th anniversary, so we're kind of aligned this to that. But yeah, so again.
That's great.
Optimus Prime, you get Super Mode Optimus Prime. When you add all the fire truck. Ultra Magnus that comes with all new Armorizer Autobot Blue Bolts. So you're getting 3 characters in the base offering, 10,000 backers, $249.99. Tier 1 unlocks at 13,000. You're getting the Matrix Blade in its almost 2-foot glory. And then at 16,000 backers, we will unlock the 2 display stands so you can display both bots individually, or you can display Omega Prime, or you can put them together to start displaying stuff in vehicle mode. So for anybody, if you're not already a Hasbro Pulse Premium member, this is a good time to get in. You get free shipping, so that's a very good bonus there if you want to get in on that. We'll have tons of other updates for everybody. We'll see you all when we hit funding for the base tier, let you know it's going into production, and then we'll be back a couple more times. We have a painted model that is on its way. Evan and I are actually going to take that to an event, show it off, and then we're going to do some photo shoots, and we'll be back here to show off the actual painted model sample, as we tend to do.
I guess look forward to more updates. Honestly, any questions, any comments, people know we have socials that they can reach out to us too. And yeah, we'll answer any questions that we can.
So don't forget, like, subscribe, share on YouTube, follow Hasbro Pulse on Instagram, they're on Facebook, all the things, right?
We have a TikTok now.
Oh,
we
yeah,
have
we
an official Transformers TikTok.
official TikTok. Make sure to go check that out. Some great content on there. Definitely celebrating the 40th anniversary.
Yep.
So until we see you all for an update, thank you again. HasLab Omega Prime. I think his actual title, for being technical, is Transformers Legacy Robots in Disguise 2001 Omega Prime. So a lot of words. I think we're trying to rival against the Smash and Change that came out a couple years ago for longest Transformer toy name. But we got a lot of fun.
I'm so sorry to our
here.
packaging branding team that's going to have to fit that all on the box.
It'll be fine. It'll be great. So yeah, it is going to live in the world of Legacy if anybody was questioning that. So until we see you for a backer update, thank you. Head on over to HasbroPulse.com. Back Omega Prime right now. This will be yours, coming to you at some point early in 2025 is the goal. Until next time, happy Transformers Tuesday. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you soon.
Till all are one.